Another Ants on a Rock video. Welcome to the Ant Corner.
Hey there guys and girls, thanks for coming back for another video with me, Tom, from Ants on a Rock. How you getting on? How are your ants doing? Any problems, give me a little comment below and I'll answer you and I'll see if I can help. It's the least I can do for you watching my channel. Thank you so much, I really appreciate it. Anyways, I've got a really cracker of a video for you today, introducing my newest experiment, 2 ant colonies, 1 Formicarium. This has been long awaited and I've been given little teasers, so without any further delay, let's get on with the video. Have a little look.
First things first, I need to build their Formicarium. Now bear with me, I will explain as I go. So I've got this outworld ready. I've set it up like this very deliberately, with only one extension port coming out of the side. This is where I aim to connect the other ant colony, with one living residentially inside this outworld. So first I need to just block this hole. I do it with cotton wool. I put a whole cotton wool ball through, push it in tight, and that's pretty good really. And you can generally see if they start pulling at it and trying to escape, and that's when they need to extend anyways. For now, we're going to block up the extension tube as well with another cotton wool plug. This is simply because the second colony isn't ready to be attached yet. I want larger numbers of fully working colony before I attach them and introduce them together. But wait and see. Now, different to normal, I am not going to add a drainage layer. This is because I do not want to risk them digging into the substrate, as it might be quite inviting for the second colony when they do move in later on. I started with just a base layer of carbon, and then I'm adding some of my substrate on top. This is a special mix that I use that's already bioactive and ready to go. Again, because I didn't want them to dig into the substrate, I didn't add much. I kept it a very thin layer and even took some out. Let's have a little look how thin I made it. As you actually look around the outworld, you can almost see the bottom through it. There's not much substrate in there, but lots of bioactivity, lots of springtails and other bioorganisms living in the substrate already, and the carbon will help keep it clean. Next job, let's make this home more welcoming. I'm going to do this by adding lots of mosses and other cool stuff that the ants are really going to enjoy living in. Now I've got a nice carpet of moss building up. I'm going to go in with a bit of hardscape in the form of some rotting driftwood. Now this is perfect. This is what I plan for them to nest into. So I need it positioned just right, and it's going to take a minute to work out exactly where I want it, because this is going to be the nest of the first colony. It took a little while, but I think I've got it how I like it. So I'm just filling in some of the edges with the moss, just to fill in the gaps, make it look a little bit better, and take up a bit of that extra gappy space, meaning they have more connection spots between the two logs. Next, I'm going to just use a little bit of sand around the extension port. This is completely deliberate and will give me better viewing access when the ants are coming in and out in the future. Also adding further biodiversity to the Formicarium and outworld area that the first ant colony will be living in from today. Next, just a little bit more hardscape, a few small blocks. I think it makes it look so much better and really helps it complete the look of a natural environment. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget, if you want to support this channel, you can check out my Patreon page, where you can get all sorts of sneak previews. This colony was on there 2 weeks ago, and they were the first people to know. The last thing we need to do to build this Formicarium is it needs a really good spray down. All the mosses will require lots of moisture, and hopefully this will be enough through cycling it. I'd say that's the first stage complete. Let's have a little look. Okay, I know what you're really wanting to see. Let's get to the ants. This is the first colony. This colony will not be going in the Formicarium straight away. They will instead be going into a Wakushi Venus nest. And this is just to give them a chance to grow to larger numbers before attaching them to the outworld to join their other companions. Let's have a little look. This beautiful species of camponotus currently has 7 workers in this test tube, so I think they're about right to go into a Wakushi Venus nest. Let's get it set up. If you haven't seen a Wakushi Venus nest before, they're really awesome. Basically, it's 3 test tubes all connected to one outworld area, which is all connected as one unit. So you've put the test tubes with the ants into one of those slots, which is really handy and gives them room to expand and have extra water sources as they grow. All 3 of the ports are slightly different sizes, small, medium and large, which is really handy as well, meaning the ants can decide where they feel most comfortable. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this red section and I'm going to make it slightly darker simply by just adding some tinfoil over the top with a little bit of blue tack. This is simply because camponotus can be a little bit extra sensitive, so I don't even want to risk them just using the red. If I can keep them in the dark, I will keep them in the dark, and I want them to thrive, so this is the best scenario. As you can see, I've already filled up 2 test tubes with the water, and I've left 1 gap for the test tube with the ants in. So the next job to do is to make this more welcoming, as I always like to do, by simply adding a little bit of food in their outworld area. For now, I'm just going to add a little bit of sugars to this cotton wool, and I might add some protein in later tonight. And now, the time has come to add the ants. So, it's a little bit of a tedious process. You have to line them up just right and squeeze it in there just right. But let's get it done. So far, everything's going to plan, and it's going really smoothly. The queen doesn't seem too bothered. They do have some eggs and larvae below them as well. We've got a little bit of mealworm, and some protein jelly or something further up the tube, so I expect they'll bring that out and pile it into a rubbish pile at some point soon. Let's put on a red filter and push down the tin foil and leave them in the dark. It was only a couple of hours till I saw the first worker out and exploring the outworld section of the Venus nest. It was really cool to see them out and exploring this early on, quite confidently. Hopefully this is signs that they will eat and grow and everything will go well with this camponotus colony that I normally struggle with. And now, the next colony. This colony is so much smaller that they should be ignored completely by the much larger camponotus. It's acorn ants. This awesome tiny species of ants doesn't grow to much large numbers, to the point they only have a couple of hundred. In fact, the whole colony will quite happily live inside of an acorn. But they also like to live in driftwood, rotting wood. So this is my idea. Let's add the acorn ants in now so that they can move into this piece of wood. Let's give them time to get established before attaching the much larger camponotus species to the outworld. Again, the camponotus don't need this much space. They're only a small colony, so it would probably be detrimental to attach them at this point. But it's just about right for this size colony of acorn ants. So let's take out the cotton stopper and release the ants. Straight away I can see these ants are looking to move out. There's scouts at the edge of the test tube already. Look, there goes the first one, and the second, and the third one coming out already. It's not going to take long. They're going to have a little explore, and I'm sure they're going to find a new nesting spot, probably in the wood that I provided. This environment is perfect for them to hide, and it's going to be really hard to spot any ants after today. I might not even ever see them again unless I look really, really hard. But this can only be a good thing if they're going to be living with the camponotus. It'll be really interesting to see in the future if the camponotus and the acorn ants eat at the same time in the same place without being bothered by each other. I think this is going to be a really interesting experiment. I've been told a lot about it and I've done a lot of research into it. Feel free to give me a comment and let me know what you think. But before you judge me, please do some research into this experiment yourself, as it has been done before and has been documented to work. So I have my fingers crossed, as in really, really crossed, my toes as well. But I think it should go well. From the research I've done, the acorn ants are so small, the camponotus will just walk straight past them and hardly even notice them, much like the springtails. Sorry about the shaky camera here. It was a really awkward angle and I just couldn't hold the camera still. As you can see, more and more ants are starting to leave the test tube. I don't think it will be much longer at all before they move out. It's getting later and later and I really need to turn the camera off and go to bed. which is exactly what I did. I went to bed and I missed it all. I came back in the morning and they were digging holes straight in the wood like I thought they would. The test tube was completely empty, which means the colonies already moved out. They're probably just making the space that they require now and making the colony nest site to suit. I'll leave the test tube in there so that they've got a source of water to drink for now, even though there's plenty of water in the substrate and the moss. I'll also leave the food in there so they've got something to eat straight away. This is really cool, and to be honest, it's going exactly as I planned. They're nesting in the exact piece of wood that I thought they would, pretty much exactly in the part of it that I thought they would, pretty much in the middle. So that's really cool, really handy. I know where they're living, so I might have a chance of seeing them in the future. But I thought this was really cool to watch them running about the surface of this log and digging it out right in front of my eyes. Don't forget to join my Discord if you want to join in some really great ant chat. There's lots of great people on there, and it's a great way to communicate with other ant keepers.
So if you think I deserve it, feel free to hit that like button, and if you haven't already, feel free to hit the sub button too. Leave me a little comment what you think's going to happen. Do you think it's going to go well? Could go either way? Let me know your thoughts on this experiment. But as always for me, I'll see you again soon, ant fans.
And a massive thank you to everyone who is supporting my channel, Jason Walker and Kevin Rogerson. You are absolutely awesome signing up to my Patreon and receiving all those awesome perks. I hope you're enjoying it. If anyone else wants to join my Patreon, check out the links in the description. Videos are always getting better and you can help support this channel to grow. See you again soon, ant fans.